If you downvote this video because of the title, you are a pussy.
So I just saw Train to Busan for the second time in my life, and I think I'll keep it that way. Train to Busan is this overrated film from 2016 that Philip DeFranco can't shut up about.
If you've watched the show for the past few years, you know that one of the things that I've recommended the most is the movie Train to Busan. Train to Busan is the movie that I probably most annoyingly push on everyone.
He's always recommending this shit whenever he gets a chance to. It's really irritating. And since apparently there's a sequel coming out on Netflix, I decided to rewatch this film and see if I still think it's crap. Yep, I still think it's crap. For the life of me, I don't understand why so many people consider this movie to be above and beyond other zombie films like World War Z. The only way this movie can be considered original or unique in relation to other zombie movies is the fact that most of the action takes place on a train and that the film is from South Korea and not the United States, like usual. That's pretty much it. From the characters to the action to the zombies, there's nothing here that is either fantastic or extraordinarily well done. Things are either bland, stupid, or filled with tropes from the zombie genre. Unless you're already into zombie films, this doesn't have anything to offer you. It's highly ironic that Rotten Tomatoes claims this film has fully realized characters, when I bet no one in the world will be able to describe them without using terms such as the father, the child, the couple that's pregnant, the high school kids, the homeless man, etc. These aren't characters, they are archetypes. There's nothing unique or mildly interesting about any of them. There's even a guy that's in the film with the sole purpose of being the asshole everyone hates. This film doesn't have characters, it has stock characters. If this movie was American, I bet you the Rotten Tomatoes score would be around 60 or even lower than that. There are so many stupid moments throughout this film. I just don't get why critics gave it a pass. Chris Steckman even gave it an A+. Like, what the fuck? Let's talk spoilers. This movie came out 4 years ago after all. It will be easier to explain why this movie kind of sucks if I can freely talk about what happens in it, just so I can explain to you my reasoning. But before that, just to get this out of the way, this film has some of the cheapest looking computer effects I've ever seen in a movie that also contains extravagant action sequences. Take this for example. Does anything in this shot look remotely authentic? Doesn't it all look fake as shit? From the smoke to the cars, there isn't a single thing in this shot that looks real. Everything looks fake. It's like, if you don't have the budget to show this type of scenes, then don't show them. Having shots like this one in the film, knowing that it's going to look mediocre at best, just makes the film come off cheaply made. It does not look good. So the way the zombie virus gets inside the train is pretty clever. It's just so convenient that the guy happens to turn around when the infected girl gets on board the train. This isn't even the most contrived thing about this scene. The fact that the girl, when she's on the train, starts making noises like an animal who just got shot, and this guy doesn't hear anything, is even worse. Is he deaf or something? It's impossible for him not to hear her. How the hell didn't he hear anything? It comes off like whoever was editing and putting these two shots together didn't pay attention to what was actually happening in either of them. Looks sloppy and lazy. And of course, there's a moment where a child sees something supernatural but no one else does. It wouldn't be a horror movie otherwise. So the infected girl has enough strength to walk all the way from one train car to the other, and somehow nobody notices that there's something seriously wrong with this girl. You can clearly see the legs and feet of people sitting here. How the hell does no one see her? Are they all asleep or something? This movie is so sloppy. A few minutes later, when people are running away from zombies, we see that zombies have no problems opening doors. But then this scene happens.
이거 놔봐요. 뭐? 그 사람들 문 열 줄 모르는 것 같아.
It's like the zombies had no problems opening that other door because we were in the middle of an action scene and that would have ruined the pacing. Now that the plot requires time for our characters to breathe, the zombies just lose the ability to open doors. This is similar to what happens later, where we have characters that are stuck between two different groups of zombies. They manage to hide themselves but get spotted at the last second by a random zombie. I do love it when zombies only matter when it's relevant for the plot. Zombies are either the most powerful predators on the planet or dumb animals easy to fool. There's no consistency. Maybe in a well-written story, like in the first Last of Us game. Otherwise, you get this. Zombie films are only entertaining if you are already into the zombie genre. I can enjoy this as a silly zombie movie, just like how I enjoy World War Z. It's not the worst thing ever made. I just can't stand it when a film this flawed and bland gets so much praise and attention. Throughout this mess, we get the pleasure of having cheap, lackluster background music that fits whatever emotion the scene is going for, like in this scene.
엄마, 괜찮아?
But instead of enhancing the scene and making it memorable, it just comes off like generic crap you have already heard a million times over in other things. It's even worse during the action sequences. When I was watching this, all I could think of was YMS's review for World War Z and his criticism of the music that film uses whenever there's action.
Time to cue some stock Hollywood action music.
And that same criticism fits here perfectly. It's a slightly different piece of music, but goddamn is it similar. It makes it hard to take the rest of the film seriously. There's a typical government trying to pretend that everything is okay cliché. This film does love to use clichés. And there's also some message about not being selfish and helping people in need. But it's hard to take any of that crap seriously when there are so many goddamn stupid moments like this one, where we have a group of people that doesn't want to be near this other group of people, so instead of moving further away from them, they do the exact opposite. They have this group go to the next car and then block the door. They literally trap themselves between a locked door and a car full of zombies. You'd think the easier solution would be to leave the group of people that might be infected behind in this car and just keep going further up the train until you reach the end. This movie is so fucking stupid. It almost hurts. I'm giving Train to Busan a 4 out of 10. This movie is clearly not for me. I should have just watched 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead instead. Anyway, see you next time.